Hello and what is up guys, Rai here and welcome back to some more automation and BeamNG.drive. Today we are creating our very own economy car from the 1970s. So this thing is going to be a front engine, either transverse or longitudinally mounted engine. It's going to be a very cheap car, around $12,000 is the budget. We're going to do a steel panel interior, basically the cheapest here. So steel, monocoque, steel. I think we'll do a front mounted longitudinal. So basically, it's going to be an American-ish vehicle, similarly designed to my real-life car, which is my Ford Maverick that I have. It to be a similar design, but this is going to be a 5-door hatchback, opposed to a 2-door coupe. We're going to go with what like McPherson struts front, and then like a solid axle. Solid axle rear sounds pretty fine. I think my car just has solid axle leaves in the back, I'm pretty sure. That sounds fine. Sounds very cheap and basic. New engine, sure, no one cares. This one's going to be an inline 4, so a bit more of a lower end car than what my car is. My car factory is I think it's a 3.3 liter straight 6. We're gonna do a push rod, obviously, nothing else. You know, this is a 1971 economy car, guys, so very cheap. I'm thinking we're gonna keep it probably just a bit more than 2 liters. What, 2.3 liters sounds fine, just a bit bigger stroke. All cast iron. This thing's going to be dirt cheap. Keep this all basic for now once we actually get to tuning. No turbos, of course. Carburetor. Single barrel, eco sounds fine. Single, standard, and regular gas. And then just what, short cast or cast log? My car is a log manifold from factory, so we'll do a log. I might change it because it's not perfect. And then probably just what, like a reverse flow mufflers? Is that a bit quieter? Yeah, reverse flow both. We can probably strangle the exhaust a bit too off the hop. So let's lower the ignition down to nothing. Lower the compression down to a solid 8 to 1. Like 8 to 1 sounds low, but fine, doable, I think. Oh, this thing's gonna run so great already, I can tell. Let's lower the rev limiter down to 5,000, sounds fair. I think we're gonna go for short cast. And we can actually have a bigger engine, slightly bigger engine. We can go... That doesn't really do much. Very slightly horsepower changes. We're using we're using all of our octane right now already, which is crazy. And a bigger cam pop probably is needed, probably for more horsepower. Right now it's not making much. It's gonna be sort of American style, but definitely with an inline 4, you're not really getting American types of power. You're probably getting okay fuel economy, 9% efficiency with the engine, which is obviously awful, but that's okay. I think it's 60 horsepower. I'd be just thrilled with that. And again, like always, I'm not opposed to actually increasing sliders just a bit. So it makes peak power 60 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, which is pretty much redline, or 4,900 RPM, which you can actually increase it to 200. Makes peak torque at 2,300, which is pretty low, but only 84 pound-feet of torque, which is quite low. We're using 100% of our octane here. It does terrible for emissions, but the material cost is quite cheap. So $524. We have $12,000 to spend in material costs, not including design and stuff. Let me go for a smaller exhaust. We can strangle it, but it's not really helping us at this point, right? And what if we go tubular? No, we'll keep it as a short cast exhaust. That seems still doable. I'm making this a 4-door hatchback because that's more standard. We can do a 2-door hatchback as well. Oh gosh, it's not how it's supposed to look at all. Yeah, we're gonna do a 4-door hatchback because that seems like it's not broken. I don't like how that bumper's there. It's definitely, I wish we can have our own bumper. That's okay though. So we're gonna move this a bit here and there. I'll move everything, of course, later once I get into the design. A rear-wheel drive manual. I mean, 2-speed is probably possible, but my car would have been I think a 3-speed manual. Open diff, radial tires. I think you could have had probably cross-ply. We're gonna do radial, hard long life, all steel, of course. 145 is a little small. We can do 165, which is still honestly kind of small. My car from factory would have been 185s. Let's space it just a bit more. It's not wonky looking. That looks not terrible. Brakes, we're gonna go for just the cheapest drum as possible. And I always like having some sort of aerodynamics, even though it probably wouldn't have, because of fuel economy. This is going to be a 6-seater, I think, very economy-esque, basic. And then, I mean, radio would be an option. This is the basic model. No radio allowed. No power steering for the base model, which was a thing. And then safety. We'll do the best safety, like I always like to do, and like the worst possible suspension. So normal, the waist, wow, it's like 2,000 pounds. It gets an average 10 miles per gallon, which is awful, of course. But this car is awful in general, I guess. I always find fuel economy is always a bit hard. This engine is definitely not made for being the most efficient for its size, because it just does awful. So we can actually get more horsepower of a twin car, but that's not Maybe we'll have to do that. You actually get better. Yeah. You know, we'll do that. Even though it's cost quite a bit more. We're going to do a single barrel twin carb setup, not in eco, even though it's worse, because the engine's getting choked. We can actually go for a 2-barrel. Or 2 single barrels looks like it's doing better here. We actually have a bit more playroom with our fuel. 90. Actually, the lower. We're gonna clean out the mixture here. Come on, there we go. 90 horsepower, 114 torque, 12.5% efficiency is not awful. Now we're getting 15 miles per gallon average. We got just constant oversteer, which is just great. What a great car. What's the cost right now? We have $12,000 to spend. So, wow, we're already under budget. 11,200. This car is. We just do fiberglass, just cause. We could not do fiberglass. That makes sense. That seems natural. We can do transverse. It's getting a little less American though once we get the transverse. Yeah, front transverse would be front-wheel drive. 15 miles per gallon. We are saving a bit of weight and probably a bit of cash. Honestly, not enough. Is it enough cash to make it worth it? I don't want okay, understeer. Oh, now it's pretty neutral handling. I like that better. It's safer to drive. 13-inch wheel is definitely smaller than what my car has. We're gonna make it 14s, which is like a bigger size. 13 was the standard size. My car had the big wheels, 14 inches. We'll keep it at 165s. I think it'd probably make it a little chunkier. Definitely a bit big on the rim side, but that's okay. I know that. 15 miles per gallon, weighs 2,000 pounds, which is lighter than my car, but it also has less horsepower. My car was 120 gross horsepower and 180, I think, 160, 180 torque, 190 torque, 100 and something torque. No one knows. 35 safety. Does it actually qualify in a market? It does. Oh, family utility budget. Look at that. Family budget. That's nice. Family utility and pony budget. This is a pony car, guys, apparently. Which I guess is what you could sort of call my car. Kind of like a budget pony car, a really budget pony car, but people actually bought them instead of the Mustang because, you know, you can get a V8 for less, actually. Fun fact, guys. The Ford Maverick was such a good value for a V8 that Ford actually had to make the Maverick more expensive. So that way people would, buy Mustangs instead. Kind of crazy. Definitely a pretty bad brake distribution. We're actually gonna make bigger brakes. I want the brakes to not be awful. If I can make them not awful, that'd be fine. Let's make them bigger. I guess max brakes is what we're gonna have to do here. So they're not terrible. And lower this down a bit for comfort because it's not a performance car. Wow, now we're making a very front bias brake system here. A little more. Let's go 45, I guess. So we can change this a little bit different. So 14.7 miles per gallon average. Not terrible. 11 seconds 0 to 60, which is pretty good. Reliability 61. Okay, not terrible for a dirt cheap car. $11,400 is the cost. That's under $2,000 in 1970, which is a very good deal, I'd say. We can even go 2-speed auto to save some cash, but you can't really save much. We can go 4-speed even. Oh, we're getting better. Here's 60s though, like that. Anything else we can do? I think the car is pretty much good to go. I might tweak some stuff like I always do. But now, of course, again, like I always do, I'm going to design the car in a time lapse and also talk about the design and stuff while I'm doing it. So sit back, relax, guys, and I hope you enjoy. Alright guys, so we are starting with the design of my 1971 economy box. Of course, like always, I do start with the front. This body was a bit more difficult to design something that is period-ish correct, as well as fitting in with some design themes of my other cars. I place a grill down in the center here just to sort of get, as the style of what I want, and I split it off into 2 grills. Add 2 headlights inside another headlight, basically like a box, with some chrome trim around it all the way around the entire side, and sort of add some more chrome trim to finish it off there. I have the front end similarly done to my other previous Maven models. My Maven, I think it's called the Plasma LSD, which is a sporty coupe from the 1980s. It's a similar front end. This is, I guess, a previous iteration, of course, in my mind, not a real car. I'm working on the front end still, adding some like 5-mile-per-hour bumpers, license plate, turn signals, etc. Going to the paint job now. I'm choosing which color it is, and I do choose the worst color that I have pre-made. It is a very ugly color. I think it's called like Sunshine Yellow or something. It's just awful. I love it though. It's so great. I changed the wheels, add some door handles, and the mirrors are placed. And I start working on the taillights. I'm trying to think of how I can incorporate similar design elements from the front and from my other previous cars into this. So I do take a look at some of my other cars. Then I finalize on having another sort of square rectangle-ish grill in the back, and then add some other rectangles to have the headlights and turn signals, and do the same thing like I did with the front. So add some trim, Had some black pieces basically, and then changed lights at the logo, at the gas cap on the side, and then I just look at the side of the car. I name it the Metro EC or Economy Compact. Sure, why not? That sounds like a fine name. Metro's already a car name, I know. I had some more 5-mile-per-hour bumpers in the rear, and then some turn signals. The Maven logo is there, and I added an exhaust pipe. Play around with the final drive ratio and the gearing and stuff to get some better fuel economy. And then I add a side sort of trim piece. I start adding it. Basically, what this is going to be sort of like a ding guard. So if someone hits you with it, it's like a door ding guard. Is that a thing? A door ding guard? Sure. So someone doesn't hit you with their door. It looks almost like wood from like a 1980s car. I'm not sure if 100% fits. I wish it had more, flowing with the body. That's okay. It does sort of flow with the bumpers and stuff. So that's what I kind of had it in there. The car is designed. In front of us, we have the 1971 Maven Metro EC. Of course, the sportiest coupe in the Maven lineup. Not even a coupe. It's not even sporty at all, but it's still the sportiest in Maven's lineup. So finally, in front of us, like I said, we have the Maven Metro Economy Compact. Sure, why not? That's a great name. The 2,100 pound, it's got a pretty good weight distribution. It's a 56-44 weight distribution. Not terrible. 4.1 degree roll angle. That's not terrible, right? That's not terrible. That's pretty bad, though. Actually gets okay gas mileage. I mean, okay for 1971. 17 miles per gallon, but for a 2.2 liter, 2.3 liter, it's not that great. So it's not ideal for sure. Then again, this car is very cheap, costing $11,500 or around $1,800-ish in the 1970s, around there. Overall, the design, so the front end has some similar-ish features to I think like a Dodge Colt. I have similar headlights to a Cadillac Eldorado-ish side. I mean, it's not really like anything that's out there, I guess. The body is really similar to I would say it's more of a British or definitely a European design, and it's definitely, it almost feels like it's Americanized, just because why is the hood is quite long. The hood's quite long for this car. It feels like this car has to be a rear-wheel drive because the hood's so long. At the back here, Maven logo Metro. We got the 2 taillights, like the 2 turn taillights, brake lights, sure. Turn signal and a reverse light there. In reality, though, it should be probably 2 red, orange, and a white, just because like 2 red, like 1 red, maybe another red, and then white, orange. Just so it's so the orange isn't so close. That's fine though. Not the end of the world. There is a taillight here, or turn signal there. That's fine. 2 exhaust, like a dual exhaust, dual tailpipes, I guess, just for looks. I think it looks better like that. It's definitely not realistic at that with that part, but just for me, that's just fun. Anyways, the car is pretty good. Drivability 29, not terrible. Practicality pretty practical. 60 practicality. Reliability 61. Safety 36. So it's bad, but for a car that costs not that much, then it's pretty fair. I'd say it's pretty fair. Overall, the car, yeah, it's a family budget, family utility budget, a passenger fleet, which is probably what I was going for, or a pony budget, which is kind of surprising. A big engine with rear-wheel drive, yet still practical and reliable. A muscle car on a very tiny budget. It's not really. It's not. Guys. Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is take the car, jump into BeamNG.drive, and see what this thing can do. Alright guys, so we are finally in BeamNG.drive with the Maven Metro. I think it's called the EC? I don't know, it's like the base model, cheapo vehicle. The color transferred over perfectly. It's so terrible, I love it. Such an ugly color. Besides, actually, I kind of like this. It doesn't really fit the design. I wish you could make, easier curves and stuff, but it looks good. Chrome obviously looks pretty awful in this game. No offense. That's my opinion. We are here with my Logitech G29 steering wheel. So this is my first time in BeamNG with the steering wheel. I've actually done 2 or 3 practice runs in a couple different maps. So a few runs, probably half an hour playtime. I am pretty not good if you ask me, but that's okay. So we're taking this car on the short automation test track, not a loop, the short automation test track map. I'm gonna take it nice and slow. We're not going for a record-setting time here. Nice and slow here. I have the force feedback turned down just a bit, just enough so I can still hear it and stuff and still feel it, but so you guys don't hear it that much. Okay, this turn nice and gently. We have no traction control at all, and even with just what 100 and something pound-feet of torque, it still likes to spin out. It is definitely a bit of a squirrely car. The car is the standard. I'm using the paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which is fine. They work fine. I have no problem using paddles versus a traditional We're gonna brake here nice and early. The steering wheel's actually coming off the table, that's okay though. And we're taking our nice and turn. It's nice and quick that turn. Full power here again. Very, very, very gutless, the car. You guys did like 90 kilometers an hour in first gear, which is pretty good actually. Brake, a little bit of braking. Downshift here. Take the turn nice and slow because I don't want to wipe out. This car does not inspire confidence. That's not something this car inspires at all. So I'm definitely taking it nicely, nice and gently. Oh, braking, downshift first. And just coasting through here a bit, up full throttle. This is a 2-lap one. After this, we're going to go for a bit of driving just through the world of BeamNG.drive. Downshift again. Take this turn a really, really terrible apex, but that's okay. And I apologize already if the microphone sounds a bit different, because it is positioned quite a bit different, just so you guys don't pick up as much shifting sounds like that. If you guys can hear that, I'm not sure. I can hear it, so, you know, it's there. But I have it positioned just a bit better, so it might sound a bit different. I might hopefully sound louder too, actually. I have upped the microphone gain and stuff. And it's a lot closer to my face, so it should be a bit clearer. Hopefully that's the case. We're taking this really slow right now. That's okay, I guess. Oh, that's a little scary. This thing is rear-wheel drive, so it is just... It's just terribly oversteery. It wants to oversteer at, like, you know, not much G's, I'm assuming this is. We're pulling, what? 0.5 G's, 0.6 G's. It's trying to oversteer at, like, 0.6 G's. I'm not even on full throttle right now. I'm just taking nice and gently through here. And we're going to brake nice and early here. And we're going to jump shift again. On this corner perfectly and on the throttle early-ish. You know, I wish I was an actual good sim racer, but alas, I'm not. I wish I was like, I think it's called Jimmy Broadbent. Definitely one of my favorite sim racers. You guys should check him out. He's a great driver. Jimmy, if you're watching this, which you're not, please teach me how to drive better. So 140 on the first lap. If we can beat that, I'd be very happy, and I hope we're going to beat it on the second lap. It looks like we are. I like to think if I was driving a better car, like even something just like, you know, a brand new version of this Metro, this Maven Metro, I have better luck just because I'd have traction control, some sort of aids, ABS at least, at the very least, or bigger tires. These are just 165s. So these tires are very small. Looks like we're gonna finish in the 130s. Hopefully that wasn't too bad for you guys to watch. It was pretty painful for me, to be honest. And we're gonna crash and just see what this thing can do. Keep driving here. Oh. Steering wheel just has lost all feeling now. That feels really weird. That's okay. We're gonna slam into this wall. I guess tire wall. That's okay. Perfect. Now we are going to just go to free roam. And just sort of drive around and see sort of what this thing can do, I guess. Oh yeah, we can't go that way. We're gonna go this way and just turn around here. So I have adjusted the steering wheel, so it's only about 180 degrees of turning, which, because I don't want to crank my hand. I don't want to do a full loop-to-loop with this thing. We're coming up on a fence. I think we're gonna go this way and just see what's happening over here. Gonna brake, We're downshift. We're gonna go this way along the track. Just see what's happening. There's a fence right there. That's not good. We're fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. Oh, it feels so good to be able to feather the throttle, though. We're gonna apply like an even amount of throttle too, and I can actually turn properly. Yeah, you only need second gear. That's sad. Third is literally just an overdrive. Imagine just cruising at the highway. Like, imagine if this thing was 2-speed, just cruising on the highway, you know, 100 kilometers an hour at 4,000 or whatever RPM. Going downhill. Can we get more speed going downhill? Come on, stay on the road here. I'm braking. Downshift the first. And we're turning. And we're shifting. Sure, it's definitely quite a bit of fun to make. I like all my cars, hopefully. Hopefully they're all fun to make. If they're not fun to make, then why would I be doing this? No one knows. Turn in here nice and gently. Yeah, I definitely do plan on making Assetto Corsa, which I'm much better in that game than I am in this game. Not much better, but I mean, I'm not that good, but I'm better, I'd say. Just because the cars are... They got pretty big tires, right? So, I might do some videos with that. I also have my video when I was driving around the racetrack, Ferrari 458, when I was on my 21st birthday kind of vacation I took. Oh, we're going to the wall. That's okay. We're fine. Everything's fine. This thing do donuts? Let's try that out. I might post a video of me driving. I will post a video of me driving around the track at some point with a little bit of like, you know, almost like a little quick vlog almost. It's mostly just me driving a race car or a race car, supercar on a track. This thing could do almost donuts. I like that. Good for it. One wheel wonder. Let's see here. Come on. That's so sad. That's so sad. It's definitely not the fastest thing. And it's definitely one of the worst handling cars I've ever made just because it's so bad in general. Dude, I'm sure I've made worse handling cars than this, but on my channel probably, yeah. I'll take that. Come on, you got enough power, buddy. Come on, you're only in dirt. It's okay. Oh, that transmission whine. That's so disgustingly loud. For me, at least. Going this way. Going this way. Up the hill. Oh, I guess we're up the hill. Sure. Definitely a very poorly handling car. Has a lot of body roll. A lot of body roll for what it is. It only weighs 2,000 pounds. So a lot of body roll. The brakes aren't terrible. Like, that wasn't full pressure. That was not an emergency stop. I like, you know, I'm just trying to get a feel for the bite point here where the brakes sort of bite down and start slipping, but, maybe it's just using an actual pedal instead of a button, so it's definitely better. Like, that's full emergency stop. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. Overall, the car, yeah, definitely pretty fun. The handling is almost Tokyo Drift where it just wants to go sideways. What do you expect from a car that costs $2,000 in 1971, or $2,000 or so dollars, probably less than that, actually. There you guys, you have it, the Maven Metro EX or EC or chipbox version. I'm not too sure. I do plan on doing like my own take on a Soviet communist car from the 1980s, similar to like the Yugo or, you know, people's reincarnations like the Bugo, etc. I do plan on doing that at some point, so this is not this video. I do plan on making a very, very, very bad car with very, very, very poor performance. And I plan on driving that around the track as well. Not this track, because this track is way too big for it, because it will not go anywhere basically under its own power. Stay tuned for that. So yeah, what's coming up next is a vlog video in a couple days, a week, I don't know, whenever I get to it. Some other games, Forza Horizon 4, Assetto Corsa, Gear City. I'm so excited. I want to play that, guys. It's kind of boring. It's not as, it's, you know what? I don't think it's boring to watch. It's more of a strategy game than a car game, because, you know, it's more of like a tycoon game. It's a lot of fun though. I like to think I'm good at it because I have over 2,000 hours in it, so I have way more hours in that than I have in this game. Street Legal Racing, Redline, and more is coming up, so stay tuned, guys. I really appreciate all the support. We are getting very, very, very close to 1,000 subscribers, and I think we've gained 600. We've gained over half you guys in the last 30 days, so big round of applause, I guess. I don't know. What do you say? I don't know. Big round of applause, guys. Awesome. Thank you so much for the awesome support, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, I'll see you next time.